Hi and welcome to Witchy Wednesday. We are going to have a hangout for tarot readers today. I hope to see some of my tarot reading friends in here, but it all depends on their time zone. Right now you're probably eating dinner or just finished eating dinner if you're in the States, and if you're in Norway it might be too late for you. It is 11 p.m. here. Please excuse my appearance, and if I seem fidgety, I just finished wrapping about 30 Yule gifts, and it's murder on the back, so I will not sit still tonight. If you are not a professional tarot reader, if you haven't even started using the cards, feel free to ask questions. I promise you will get an answer. Feel free to ask questions, and if you're watching the replay, you can send me a message on social media or you can send me an email. Hi Joe, did you stop by for the tarot readers meetup? Ah, no, curious. Okay. Tarot in itself is not magic. It is a tool for your intuition. It's just a deck of cards with symbols on it. It depends on your meaning of supernatural. Just for the replay, Joe is asking, is there something supernatural about tarot? Supernatural. We all have intuition, so I wouldn't call that supernatural. It doesn't have anything to do with spirits or other worldly entities in any way. It's your own intuition, and the symbols trigger knowledge in a way. If you get what I mean by that, it's actually very natural. There are a lot of tools for your intuition, like a pendulum or runes. Divination has been around for a very long time, although tarot didn't come until I think the 1400s. I wouldn't say there's anything supernatural about divination either. It's just finding answers in a different way than book knowledge or school knowledge. Your gut instinct, and you can exercise that so it gets stronger, so you recognize it easier. There are a lot of people who think it's evil too, but I can't see a deck of cards as evil. I think the intent with which people act can be evil, but I don't believe in evil as its own entity, or that items can be evil. The same as a gun isn't evil, it's the person using it for something bad that's evil. What sort of knowledge is produced? Well, most of the time it is guidance. For example, someone asked how they could find the time for their spirituality while running a business, and what came out is that it's very important for this person to do this even if he thinks it's selfish, and that he really needs to make some important changes in his behavior and his habits to find that time. He needs to take the time. You don't get more than 24 hours. So I'd say it's answers and guidance. I would say that the runes are more straightforward than the tarot. The tarot can use less obvious messages, but I've found that as long as you don't go by the book interpretations, as long as you let your intuition do the talking, the answers are almost always very close or right in the middle of the mark. I've had very good feedback on mine. I mean, a bullseye or correct, that they recognize that this is correct for them. It was just a choice of words. Yeah, it's something they recognize as correct, that they recognize that, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I need to do. Or sometimes it also comes up with unrelated things that show events or actions in thoughts, feelings in their life that they also recognize that it wasn't asked for, the information wasn't given to, for example, me. And it's more like, oh, how the hell could you know that? It's a combination of the information you get from the client and the information you get from your intuition. So the cards are just, they give you symbols that you have a relation to. And that's also why it's so important to find a deck with symbols that you actually relate to. And no, I'm not a mind reader. I can't read anyone's mind. People do find it helpful, yes. I've been doing tarot readings since 2003, I think, and rune and cartomancy readings since 94, and I've always find that people find it helpful, that they're able to make a decision or choice, or that they're able to continue on a project, for example, or find some clarity for their business or their lives. So they do find it helpful. They typically come to me when they may be struggling with something, and sometimes it's just that they're curious about why something isn't working or what to do to make something work even better. So it doesn't have to be a struggle per se or a big obstacle. It can be something small that actually, well, maybe it's more annoying than something they're struggling with. They do have some kind of problem or some kind of question, a choice, or something they can't figure out for themselves without help. Oh, you're not bugging me. I don't have a problem answering questions. I'm very open about what I do, so I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, each of the cards have a special meaning. Each of the suits have a specific area. Each card also has a reversed meaning, but it's not the opposite always. It's not something negative. It's more of a lesser version or a version that's in opposition that, for example, the tower, if it's about drastic change, then the reversed one may be a lack of change or slow change. Yes, you pull a number of cards that you feel is right for the subject of the reading. And depending on which cards show up and how they end up in relation to each other, it does say something about the issue that was asked about. The symbols cause an intuitive response, which then leads to the answer. It's hard to say what causes the right cards to appear. I'm not quite sure what causes the right cards to appear. Well, you shuffle the cards until you feel it's enough, and then you lay them out. And who knows? It depends on what you believe in. Random luck, or maybe the cards you pull are guided by your subconscious. Could be many different answers to that one. What is the right answer, though? Well, it's something you as a reader feel. You feel that for this situation, for this client, this is the answer I need to give. I always tell my clients that it's for a moment in time. It may change according to your choices, and it's not something you should base huge decisions on. It's not the cards. The cards are just a tool. It is the intuition of the reader that determines the quality of the reading. And also if they choose to trust that intuition. There are some tarot readers that rather go by memorized interpretations rather than what their intuition is telling them. It's my intuition that guides me, yes. And that is what the answer you would get from most of the professional tarot readers. At least the ones I've talked to. I would say it's my intuitive interpretation of the cards that lead to the answer. So in some ways it is a combination. I'm glad it makes sense to you. My pleasure. It is a pleasure to have someone asking questions instead of sitting here waiting around for people. Maybe they're having dinner. I'm in Norway and it is 11:30 p.m. Yeah, they both left. That's what happens when they join for something completely different and then realize this was not what they thought it was. There are probably other people who wonder about the same things you've been asking about, so it'll be a good video, even though it's not full of tarot readers. I'm usually up late anyway, so it doesn't bother me to sit here for another 10 minutes. Yeah, Netherlands are in the same time zone as us. I do have some friends there too. And something that's a bit curious is that a lot of people in Netherlands have learned Norwegian because Netherlands and Norwegians have a long history of competing in ice skating together. So they learned the language. I only know a few words in Netherlands, but Norwegian is my second language anyway. I was going to say that the November tarot readings I've had are going away on Monday. So if anyone wants a full-size tarot reading at a really low investment, they need to go get it. I'm doing these Witchy Wednesdays every Wednesday. The cards are just a tool I use, yes. They're one of the tools I use. It's just a deck of cards. It was actually used as playing cards to begin with. No, the cards have no special power. They have no power of their own. They're just an item. If they come up a certain way, it has to be because of something you're doing subconsciously while shuffling. I would say so. Sometimes when you have someone in front of you, you have them cut the deck. So then it's their influence that determines which cards come up. But when it's online readings or email readings, readings over Skype, then it's the reader. In this case, me. The so-called magic is the intuition and how you use it, how well versed you are in listening to it and understanding the meaning of the symbols in the deck you've chosen. Yeah, there are literally thousands of different tarot decks with different kinds of imagery and symbols, and you have to choose one that feels good to use. Personally, I use the Vikings Tarot because it has some Norse symbolism, which is a subject I've studied to some degree, so it's something I feel related to. As for the most common Rider-Waite deck, I couldn't connect to it at all because the symbols didn't feel right. Sometimes they do. I have 4 decks and I have on occasion switched deck because of the subject, but I usually stick to one deck. Most tarot readers have one favorite deck, although they may use others too. Yeah, I mostly used one deck and shuffle them up, and then it's up to what shows up and my intuition. So that's about it. Now it's 1 minute until I stop because no other readers showed up. So I'll be back next Wednesday with this and Friday for tarot readings for female entrepreneurs. So thank you for all your questions. Thanks, Joe, and have a great day.